Shalom to all my brothers and sisters. In this brief video, I just wanted to state that the Septuagint argument that Jewish people hear a lot for the excuses found in the Christian Bible when misquoting our Bible. Many times Christians will use when backed in a corner, it's not their faults. Again, I mean no disrespect to the Christian brothers and sisters who are watching this whatsoever. I care for you, I have love for you, and I make these videos out of love and care and hope you'll look into this. One of the main arguments that's presented to the Jewish people is the reason why the Christian Bible consistently misquotes our Bible, the Tanakh, is because they are quoting from the Septuagint. The original Septuagint, in all reality, was translated some 2,200 years ago by 72 Jewish rabbis, scholars. It was a Greek translation of the 5 books of Moses alone, nothing more. If you heard that it was the entire Tanakh, you've heard wrong. It was only the 5 books of Moses. And another thing too that I just want to further point out is that the day in which the 5 books of Moses, the Torah, was translated in Greek, it was actually called a cursed day when they were finished translating. And to this day, the rabbis of Orthodox Judaism, some of them will celebrate this day as a cursed day when they had to translate the Holy Scripture into a pagan translation for the church fathers under penalty of death. So let that be known. It was the 5 books of Moses. It was not the entire Hebrew Bible. This is a fact. And even in the Septuagints today, in the introduction, if you open up your Septuagint today, if you have one, it'll tell you that it was only of the 5 books of Moses. Even the Christian forefathers verify this of that time. Christians such as Origen, Lucian, this is from the 3rd and 4th century CE, edited and shaped the Septuagint that missionaries used to advance their erroneous arguments against Judaism. In essence, the present Septuagint is largely a post-2nd century Christian translation of the Bible, used zealously by the church throughout its history as an indispensable apologetic instrument to defend and sustain Christological alterations of the Jewish scriptures. This is a fact. For example, in his preface to the Book of Chronicles, the church father Jerome, who was the primary translator of the Vulgate, concedes that in his day there was at least 3 variant Greek translations of the Bible, their Bible. Accordingly, the Jewish people never used the Septuagint in their worship or religious studies. Even to this day, you'll never find a synagogue that reads from the Septuagint. Why would we read from a pagan source when we got it from the Creator in the holy language? To read something in Greek is beyond, it was an abomination, and it still is an abomination. The ancient letters of the Aristias, which is the earliest attestation to the existence of the Septuagint, confirms that the original Septuagint, translated by rabbis more than 22 centuries ago, was the 5 books of Moses alone, period. And not the books of the prophets, such as Isaiah, Ezekiel, and on and on and on. It was only the 5 books of Moses. So, if you're a Christian and you're watching, I hope that this video is not offensive to you, and maybe you'll disagree with me. But all I have to say is, don't believe what I say. Look this up for yourself. You don't have to trust me. You could look this up for yourself. It's even in the Septuagints themselves. Most of them will have in the introduction. This is only of the 5 books of Moses, or in other words, the Pentateuch. Therefore, St. Jerome, a church father and Bible translator who could hardly be construed as friendly to Judaism, affirms Josephus' statement regarding the authorship of the Septuagint in his preface to the Book of Hebrew Questions. Likewise, the Anchor Bible Dictionary reports precisely this point in the opening sentence of its article on the Septuagint, which states, the word Septuagint from Latin Septuaginta equals 70. Hence, the abbreviation LXX derives from the story that 72 elders, or rabbis, translated the Pentateuch, or 5 books of Moses, into Greek. The term, therefore, applied originally only to the 5 books of Moses, period. So, the Septuagint of today is not the Septuagint of 2,200 years ago. The original Septuagint is lost. If you ever find it, it's worth probably over $1 million or more. It doesn't exist anymore. The Septuagints you have today, or even the ancient ones, they have the Apocrypha books in them, which were not chosen by the church as holy. So, in hindsight, when you look at the evidence is very clear. Septuagint was put together in Rome by the Catholic Church to be edited, translated by the Church Fathers to support the idolatrous teachings of the Church through the Middle Ages, to support their attacks on Judaism and the Jewish people, my people, over the years. So please do your own research and stop with this Septuagint nonsense. If God wanted to speak to the Jewish people, Israel as a whole, in Greek, he would have handed down Greek. He did not. He spoke to us in the holy language of Hebrew. Period. So, does God forget what the Hebrew's saying? Does he have to go to a translation? It's absolutely appalling to think that God can mistranslate his scripture when quoting. And the excuse is they're using the Septuagint? That's an answer? Who cares about the Septuagint? Who cares about the Septuagint? Really, I mean, I'm being serious here. Who cares about the Septuagint? Our God wrote in the Hebrew language. So, do your own research and look this up. Because there's a lot of things that are just inaccurate. The Jewish people never looked at the Septuagint as a legitimate translation. So, do your research. I hope you'll look into this. Shalom. Have a wonderful evening and be blessed. May Yehovah bless you immensely. Shalom.